Hello everyone, welcome to this series on literary theories, and in this video we are going to discuss the fourth part of formalist approach to literary criticism and discuss its background. Introduction to formalist theory. Formalist theory is centered on the analysis of a text's form and structure. Unlike other approaches that may consider the author's biography or historical context, formalist criticism focuses solely on the text itself. This approach has deep historical roots, drawing from classical aesthetics, romantic ideas, and modern critical thought. The primary goal is to understand how the various elements of a literary work, such as language, structure, imagery, and symbolism, contribute to its overall meaning and artistic coherence. Classical foundations. The origins of formalist theory can be traced back to classical art and aesthetics. Plato, for example, utilized dialectic methods and crafted dialogues rich in imagery, metaphor, dramatic scenes, characterization, setting, and tone to convey Socratic wisdom. His works emphasize the importance of form in achieving philosophical clarity and aesthetic beauty. Aristotle, in his seminal work Poetics, advocated for an orderly arrangement of parts that forms a beautiful whole or organism. He emphasized that every element of a tragedy must contribute to a cohesive and unified structure. This idea of an organic unity, where each part supports the whole, is a cornerstone of formalist thought. Horace, in his Ars Poetica, advised poets to maintain simplicity and unity in their work. His admonition that a work should be simple and unified resonates with the formalist emphasis on coherence and the interdependence of a text's elements. Romantic contributions. The Romantic movement in Europe during the late 18th and 19th centuries further developed the concept of form in literature. St. Coleridge, influenced by German philosophical idealists like Kant, Hegel, Fichte, and Schelling, introduced the idea of a dynamic imagination as the shaping power of artistic vision. He argued that a poem should be a unified whole, with each part supporting and explaining the others in a harmonious manner. Coleridge's distinction between poetry and other forms of discourse highlighted the poem's ability to elicit delight through its unity and coherence. This romantic view encouraged a deeper appreciation of the internal structure and imaginative power of poetry. Imagery of growth in Romanticism. Romantic poets often used the imagery of growth, particularly vegetation, to describe the organic unity of a poem or painting. This analogy, reflecting their infatuation with nature, likened the internal life of a work of art to the unity found in a tree, flower, or plant. John Keats, for instance, famously stated that poetry should come as naturally as leaves to a tree. This metaphor emphasizes the natural development of a poem's form and content. P.B. Shelley, in his defense of poetry, uses similar imagery to describe the relationship of sounds in poetry. He warned against attempting to translate poetry, comparing it to trying to discover the principles of a flower by destroying it. Shelley believed that high poetry arises from an internal power, much like the growth of a plant from a seed. Edgar Allan Poe and the unity of effect. In America, Edgar Allan Poe extended Coleridge's theories by advocating for the excellence of short lyric poems and tales. Poe believed that shorter works could more effectively maintain a single, unified effect. In his essay, The Philosophy of Composition, Poe explained how the parts of his poem, The Raven, were developed to achieve a desired emotional impact. Poe criticized poets like Henry Wadsworth Longfellow for introducing didactic elements that disrupted the lyric effects of their poems. He argued that Poetry should aim for a cohesive emotional effect, free from extraneous moral lessons. Henry James and the Art of Fiction. Henry James, a significant figure in late 19th and early 20th century literature, argued for fiction as a fine art. In his essays and prefaces, James emphasized the intricate interrelationships between the parts and the whole of a narrative. For James, character and incident were interdependent, and each aspect of a work of fiction, setting, theme, scene, narrative, image, and symbol, had to contribute to its overall form. James believed that when an artist attends to their craft with care, nothing in the work is wasted, and form emerges naturally. He asserted that form alone takes and holds and preserves substance, preventing the work from descending into formless verbiage. Key principles of formalist theory. Formalist theory focuses on the internal elements of a text and their interrelationships. This approach encourages readers to examine the language, structure, imagery, and symbolism of a literary work to uncover its inherent meanings and appreciate its artistic coherence. By focusing on the text itself, formalist critics seek to understand how each element contributes to the overall effect and unity of the work. Conclusion. The development of formalist theory in literary criticism reflects a long-standing fascination with the structure and internal coherence of artistic works. From the classical emphasis on unity and order, through the romantic focus on organic growth and the dynamic imagination, to the modern advocacy for the unity of effect and the art of fiction, formalist ideas have evolved and enriched our understanding of literature. By emphasizing the importance of form, formalist critics encourage readers to appreciate the internal logic and artistic integrity of literary works, contributing to a deeper and more nuanced engagement with the text. This enduring legacy ensures that formalist principles remain a valuable tool for literary analysis. So this was the fourth part of the formalist criticism, in which we discussed its background. We will meet in the next video and discuss its next part. Until then, goodbye and thank you.